on lesson 5 practice, the one about video games. So in a video game, players form teams and work together to earn as many points as possible. Each team can have between 2 and 4 players. Each player can score up to 20 points in each round of the game. Han and 3 of his friends decided to form a team and play a round. Match each expression or inequality to the quantity that it represents. So it's that translating stuff again. So in this description at first, it gave you a whole bunch of constraints. So you could either take them apart piece by piece up there or around here. So what is the constraint on the number of players on the team? 2 to 4. It says so right here. So a lot of it, because I know even though I read it, it's just a lot of information at once. A lot of it you probably have to go back and read. Now, based on what's given to me, see which one possibly makes the most sense. So over here, it looks like they're multiplying 2 and 4 by something. So I would not pick that because that doesn't give me the number of players on the team. When it's talking about 30 and 15, again, not related to number of players on the team. Keep reading. Which one does it most likely probably going to be? The bottom one. The one where it says P greater than or equal to 2 and less than or equal to 4. Or written like this as well, where P is number of players on the team. We want to match the variables that it's talking about with the constraints that it gives you. So then the number of points Han's team earns in one round if every player earns a perfect score. So what would a perfect score be? It would be 20. It says each player can score up to 20 points each round of the game. So 20 is like the highest. If in one round, every player earns a perfect score, how many people does he have on his team, by the way? 4. Yep, there's 4 people total. That would be 4 times 20, which is this one. Very straightforward on that one. 4 times 20, and this 20 is the maximum points you can earn. There's 4 players. So then the number of points Han's team earns in one round if no players earn a perfect score. So they're not saying that they scored 0, just that they didn't get 20. So which of the options that are here would probably represent that? S less than 80. Because over here, when all of his teammates got a perfect score, what did that equal? Over here. 4 times 20 is 80. So if nobody got a perfect score, then it definitely must be less than 80, not even equal to. That doesn't have that little line. So there's that. Now, the number of players in a game with 6 teams of different sizes. 2 teams have 4 players, the rest have 3 players. And then the last one says the possible number of players in a game with 8 teams. So which one for this one that my mouse is on? The 2 times 4 plus 4 times 3. Well, it uses the 4 and the 3 in the expression, so I would think so. And then also seeing if it makes sense. Yeah, it's saying 2 teams have 4 players, the rest have 2 players. So that would give me my total number of players. And then by process of elimination, this one must go here. See if it makes sense. Where T is the total number of players in a game. So possible number of players in a game with 8 teams. So it said you could have anywhere from 2 to 4 players. So if all 8 teams have just 2 players, then I would think that it should be 16 right here, but I'll have to go check. And then if they all have 4 players, then that's 32. So I'm not sure why it's 15 and 30 specifically, but I'll have to go check. So any questions on that thought process? That's really it for questions on others? So this one, it says select all points that are on the graph of the equation 4y minus 6x equals 12. So there's two things you can do. You could graph it, and by graphing it, you would type in this exact equation into Desmos, and it'll give you a line. And then you would have to test all of these coordinates. You could also type them in like a different cell, but you have to do it in coordinate form with a parentheses, a comma between numbers, and then see if it's on the line. And then all the ones that are, select those. There is also a way to solve it algebraically too. Say if you, for some reason, don't have Desmos, like you don't get Desmos on your state testing, you could buy a graphing calculator and learn how to use it. But here's another way too. What form are coordinates usually in? Like, what usually goes first? The x. So it goes in the order x, y, just like the alphabet. So in this case, if I plug in -4 for the x, that just happens to be the first one, not popped up on my screen. So plug in -4 for the x right here, and -3 for the y. If it equals 12, then it's on the line. So if these values for the variable make the equation true, then they are solutions, they would be on the line. If it's not true, then they're not solutions, and so forth. So like, what's 4 times -3? -12. What's -6 times -4? Positive 24. Yep, good. And then -12 plus 24, does that equal 12? Okay. Then since it does equal 12, and that's what the equation says, that it has to equal 12, then you would select one of those, or you would select that one. And then you do the same, check every single one, see if by plugging them in at the right spots for x and for y, if it gives you that it's equal to 12, then they're solutions. So do whatever is easier for you, especially like with the math part. You could type this part in. You could type this into Desmos, exactly how it looks. Anytime you plug stuff in, use parentheses so that it doesn't read it as a fraction or something like that. But you could type this into Desmos just like that, and then see what it gives you. If it gives you 12, then it's on the line. If it doesn't, then it's not. Questions on that? I'll let you try the rest of these options. If there's one that's confusing or that you think should be marked right and it's marked wrong, definitely let me know. But I'll let you try now that I showed you one of them. Any other questions on the other one? I'll let you try. Also, while I have this question up, I think I'll show you at least one of them with the graph. I just don't want you to get like too comfortable using it and then not know how to also do it algebraically either, because both are important. All right, but Desmos graphing calculator, you type it in exactly how it was given to you. If they give you other variables than x and y, then it won't read it. Like it won't read A's and F's like in our lesson today. It reads X's and Y's. But I'll type it in exactly how it looks. 4y minus 6x equals 12. And then my next coordinate that I would check is the -1, 1.5.
All right, and you might have to zoom in because sometimes it looks like it's on the line, but then it's not. So would you select this one as one of your answers? All right, you should because it's on the line. So then there's that. I would select that one so far. This one. And then I can go back and check the others if it's on the line or not. Any other questions so far? Okay, if you think of any before class ends, well, not before it ends, but before I have to leave, let me know. Otherwise, definitely let Mia know and she'll do her best to help you.